Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing well. It's really early in the morning. It is really early on Monday, 27th of May. Why are you seeing this, should I say? I was thinking what the appropriate word was then, that's why I had to pause. Why are you seeing this on the 27th of May, on Monday morning? Because it's a bank holiday. We've got another bank holiday. So I didn't quite finish reading the book I'm here to review when I went over to my mum and dad's yesterday for our usual Sunday get together. And so I couldn't upload video. And so I carried on reading the book, finished it last night, and I am here to review. But why do I look so tired? Why is my hair a mess and all that? Because it's 5:30 in the morning. That's right, it's 5:30 in the morning. I woke up an hour ago and couldn't get back to sleep. And I was like, and I don't want to make a load of noise to, disturb my neighbours and such, like getting ready for the day and that. And I've got a house to clean. So I was like, you know what, let's get the video out of the way, start uploading that, and then by the time decent hours come around where my neighbours won't be disturbed by me making a racket cleaning my house and just generally getting ready, then that would be better for my neighbours. So you get to see me rolled out of bed, hair flat as a pancake, looking tired, in my very jazzy bring me slothy bedshirt thing with a sloth drinking coffee wearing a crown. So there you go. That's your treat for the bank holiday. And I've got myself a cuppa right here. I'm just going to take a sip off. So, oh, lovely. So yeah, so it's 5:30 in the morning. So I'm going to keep my voice down, even though obviously I'm not like blaring music that's going to wake my neighbours or anything like that. But I'm just very conscious of the fact that just because I woke up early doesn't mean that everyone needs to wake up early where I live. So yeah, I've had a very busy week. I had a few days in my office, so my usual routines for like reading and all that got disturbed, and I've continued watching Grey's Anatomy as well. So I've just been tootling along, as it were, and reading the book I'm here to review, which is The Cinder Path by Catherine Cookson. Now, I've had to do a little bit of repair work because the cover nearly fell off. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a long strip of tape. The cover nearly fell off because I put it in my backpack to take to my office, and there was stuff in my backpack and it nearly ripped off the entire cover. And I was like, no, it's a beautiful 1970s cover, I need it. And whilst I was reading yesterday, the spine broke. So I know for next time that I need to be very delicate with this book when I pick it up and read it. But anyway, let's talk about The Cinder Path by Catherine Cookson. What is The Cinder Path about? It's about a guy called Charlie McFell, who has grown up in north of England, and he had an abusive father. He had his struggles in his life, and it feels like that everything that he does, he fails at. There is something that goes completely wrong. He doesn't have the best of luck in life, and ultimately things come down to, you could say fate, you could say destiny, or choices that people make or he makes, and what happens to him are the consequences of those things. And so he goes through his life. We kind of meet him when he's young, but it's mainly when he's about 16 that his story really starts. And we follow him through trials and tribulations of his life and getting caught up in the war, the various cataclysmic events of the First World War and such, and how that impacts him. That's the best way that I can kind of describe without spoiling. So that's what this book is about. Now, why is it called The Cinder Path, you ask? Now, the Cinder Path is a path that that's by his house. and it's is a path where it leads to multiple places, and it's, you know, a cinder path because it's made of cinders and such from the mines and such that in general that his family are linked to and such. So it's just the cinder path in the area, and it kind of in a way has a fork, and it's like you can go left or you can go right, and it's like there are two very distinct differences here for what is at the end of at each end of the cinder path. And so again, it's that thing of fate, destiny, choices, and the consequences of it. So the cinder path is not just a path; it represents a lot of things that Charlie just gets caught up in his life, and I loved that. I love the fact that Catherine is very good at this, in that she not only relates things to do with her characters and the various steps that they take, but she takes things and plays with them. She uses them in the most interesting way. And so using a cinder path to represent, you know, fate, destiny, consequences of choices, and how that kind of relates to to things in like the war, with the choices like going to a trench or going over, what that means, what that will entail. It is literal paths in the road. So to give a literal path in the road that has events that happen, events happen to Charlie that he never forgets. And the very first one happens on the cinder path when we meet him. I find that really, really interesting. Now, I will say, I honestly feel this book is too short. I've had this problem with Catherine before, where I have said, oh, if only, because of what this book is covering, if only you had extra pages, or even in the last one that I read, which was her Secret Son, that was it, because it was Feathers in the Fire, and for some reason the publishers decided to change the name of it to something that just sounds bloody awful. I was saying with that one, because it's a 20-year story, if she had added extra pages, or even split it into two books and gave each book extra pages, it would have made the story richer. And I feel the same with this one. It is only about, actually I will tell you the exact number of pages. It is 271 pages long, and it feels very frantic. You don't ever or at least I don't I didn't ever feel kind of like stable. I felt the ground was shaky, because it was just constantly go, 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 meet this character, like this character, and hate this character, and did, you know, that kind of thing. It just felt like I was on a train that was going horrifically fast paced, and I just wanted it to slow back a bit and let me enjoy the scenery, you know, that kind of thing. But you could argue that given the context of the story and what the various events that happen, it kind of makes sense. And especially Catherine is always really good at beautifully writing about her beloved north of England, and the beauty of it. But in this one, she doesn't really do that. She strips it away, and you could argue that is because of we are going into war in this one, in the Western Front and such, that nature and flower, you know, beauty, all of those kind of elements that she has spoken of in the past are completely stripped away. We are automatically met with violence and such in this book because of Charlie's very abusive father from the get-go. It's like she doesn't give you that kind of feeling of ease and peace and beauty and tranquility until the very end. So in this case, I think it's actually deliberate that she's done that, or at least that's my interpretation of it. And if that is correct, I am very impressed by that. I think that was a very, very clever choice to do because of the context of the story. When it comes to the actual characters and such, I found it very interesting. Everything, you know, we're following is kind of like Charlie's point of view. It's not written from his point of view, but it's very much we are processing various characters that we come across based on Charlie's view of them. So some people who we begin to see as saintly turn out to be bloody awful, or vice versa. And then some people just stay evil, some people just stay absolutely wonderful. But then that's life, isn't it? So I didn't mind the characters, but the thing is, because it's such a short book, and as I said, we're following Charlie, so we're seeing stuff from like Charlie's perspective, we don't really get time to understand in a lot of depth about these characters. They are very interesting, and you know, I found the story, it was good pace, but it was quite fast paced, but you know, and structurally it was sound. But I would like to just spend a little bit more time with characters to get to know them, to feel that I totally understand the full repercussions of said choices and destinies and fates of individuals. I have to say, I really found the interesting, fascinating, and the fact that Charlie, throughout this book, throughout his life, as I said, he's the guy who with the worst luck. He's the fall guy. He goes through so much crap, and then to give him the ending that he gets, I loved that, and I love that Catherine is saying that ultimately there are things that we don't get to decide, but can absolutely change the course of our futures, whether that be for the good or the bad. And I do like that. Slight spoiler, it was for the good. Not going to say exactly why, but what it was or anything, but it gives you hope. It's not a book that has one of her very specific endings where she tells you, and they did this, and then you find out the fates of other characters. This is very much, we're going down a new path now, and the sun's a bit brighter. And that was what was so beautiful about this. So structurally, in a sense, story-wise, it was very different from other of Catherine's books that I read. But at the same time, it was so familiar. It was a really interesting reading. I don't know how else to describe it after multiple Catherine Cookson books now. I just feel like this was a really interesting one. And I remember when I watched the drama, the box set, which I forgot, I left it right over there on my TV stand, so I can't grab it to hold it up, but you've guys seen it before. Well, I remember when I was watching the drama, I enjoyed the drama. I thought it was quite interesting. But the story I wasn't completely invested in, but then reading the book and understanding the world a bit more and where Charlie comes from and such, that made me appreciate the story all the more. So when I rewatch the drama, I think I will enjoy it the more. The drama itself, just so you're aware, if you do watch it, it is very close to the book. There are some changes, but they're quite minimal. And so by that, I mean, like, say, for example, there is a sequence where Charlie is going off to fight, and a character, I'm not going to say who because of spoilers, comes to meet him to say goodbye. That scene doesn't exist. There's a couple of other scenes like that which don't exist, and they did change one scene for Charlie's interaction with a key character who she is more prominent in the later stages of the book, and they just decided, you know what, let's just go. No, literally, that relationship, kind of this situation, dies, and then we're not going to see her again, which I have to say I don't mind whatsoever. Not that I think that was a bad choice that Catherine kept her hanging around, but in real life, what she did in the book with that character makes so much more sense than just, you're dead to me, leave, goodbye. So the way that the drama did. So I have to say, I really respect the drama and the way that they adapted this book. It's not a very long book, and the drama, I think, is about 2 hours. So, you know, it's a decent length of book in order to completely interpret. And as I said, apart from those very slight differences, it's pretty faithful to the book itself. So well done for that with the drama. Overall, I really enjoyed this world, and I find it so interesting. I love the fact this 70s cover is so beautiful, but this is kind of like the colour and the tone of the book as well. As I said, you know, with Catherine, she usually really talks so vividly and so beautifully about nature, and that gets stripped away in this one because the cinder, the mud, the bleakness, the darkness of that time is really something that is focused on, and she only allows the sun to come out and the birds to be heard at the end and we're going through a new chapter, which I think probably is a really visceral way of representing that entire generation, that there was so much horrific stuff that was going on, and nature just, in a way, got taken from them with the mud and the war and the trenches and the horrors that they went through, and the thing of, we may not see the light again at the end of the tunnel, but then obviously various events happened through the war, and then that the light did appear. So I think that cover is so appropriate to the tone and the feel of this book, and to have it straight away. And even Catherine's name is in like this same coppery kind of colour. I just think that is one of my favourite cover designs of one of her books. It's so 70s, it's so beautiful. I absolutely love it. So overall, it is a strong book. I came to appreciate the story so much more reading the book, as mentioned previously, because I have the DVD box set. I've watched the dramas multiple times. But it's, as I said, you know, it wasn't a story necessarily that I really liked. But now that I've read the book, I really do. I strongly recommend the drama. I found the pacing was quite frantic, but understandable given what it's covering. It would have been better if there were more pages, but then that's just me. I just love reading more pages. The characters were good. I enjoyed it overall, and yeah, I really liked it. So there we go. So that was The Cinder Path by Catherine Cookson. It's time for my usual questions. Would I read this again? Yes, definitely. I just have to be very, very careful now with my broken spine of a book. But I would definitely read this again. I really, really enjoyed it. Would I recommend this to anyone? Yes, I would. And I have to say, I forgot to say that. Something I forgot to say, should I say? How many times can I say the word say? There can be some really horrific stuff in Catherine's books. Yes, we've got an abusive father who we get very early on. We get to see and encounter all that horror. But it's in the very early book. And then after that, it's not too bad. She has done some really worse horrific stuff with characters in her books, and it's mainly towards the female protagonists. But we have got a male protagonist with this one, and we don't get that kind of thing. So just so you are aware, there might be some with the abusive stuff at the beginning of the book that you might be a bit uncomfortable with, but compared to other books of hers that I have read, this is very gentle compared to others, just so you're aware. Would I read any more of Catherine's work? Well, yes. Hello. I've got loads of her books upstairs. I absolutely love Catherine Cookson. I think she's amazing. So, yeah. And the next book I'm going to read is Catherine Cookson. So there we go. It's my thoughts on the Cinder Path. If you read this book, I'd love to know what you think. Leave me a comment in the comments box below. Give thumbs up, thumbs down, tag together each side. And I'd like to be thought on my next read, which I'm so excited to read, which is The Glass Virgin. So yeah, we'll see how I go with that. And it's a bank holiday Monday, so once I've cleaned my house, I have nothing to do. So I guess I'll be cracking on with this. So yeah, have a good bank holiday Monday, everyone. If you have a bank holiday Monday or whatever, if you're not working, or even if you are working, have a good day. And yeah, I'll see you then. Bye.